Hello and welcome to this guide for today, guys. We're on the mechanism mod, and I begin to question which of the 5 basic single block generators is the best. Obviously some of them are cheaper to make than others, but I wanted to know what the actual output was. And this isn't something that I feel like is super easy to understand based upon the per tick number that you get whenever you highlight over these things. So today we're going to be looking at all 5 of the basic generators from Mechanism. We have the heat generator, the bio generator, the advanced solar generator. We're not going to look at the regular solar generator. It's good, but it's obviously not as good as the advanced solar generator. We're also going to be looking at the wind generator and the gas burning generator. And I'm also playing around with the multi-block structures. We may refer to them sometime today. So, by the way, if you guys are tuning in, this is my very first guide, actually. So, although I've done many videos, mostly Let's Plays, and I'm going through a Mechanism Let's Play right now. So if you're interested, go check it out. And if you like this guide, like this video, and do consider subscribing. And if you have any questions concerning Mechanism or, anything else I could help you out with, let me know down in the comments. So today, guys, we're going to start by looking at the heat generator. So as you can see, I've got them all labeled, but let's first talk about the heat generator. The heat generator is likely the easiest to make. In fact, the only thing that's not vanilla Minecraft is the osmium ingot in the middle. And then you can create the heat generator. Everything else is easy. Iron, acacia, copper on the bottom. You have to have the copper as well. But copper is super common, so I don't feel like it's super hard to get. And then a furnace. Once you have those together, you can make your heat generator, and it produces power, which you guys know this is all about power, right? So the way to get the most out of your heat generator is to surround it with lava source blocks on 5 of the 6 sides. It's a cube, right? So they have 6 sides, but you do have to have a cable coming out of one side. So and I don't even know if you could put lava inside of that. I feel like it would burn up your cable. But I usually do 5 of the 6 sides with lava, and then you can also lava log. It's not like water logging, but lava log the actual generator. So you actually have 6 lava blocks pumping heat into this heat generator, generating power. And so what I did was I threw together this test where I would physically measure how quickly this thing can measure. Because again, I don't like the per ticks thing. I like per second. How fast can this thing power up fully a basic energy cube? I do have an ultimate here just to kind of laugh at how long it's taking. But with the basic energy cube of 4 megajoules, and yes, I do use the joules current units because that is what is native to Mechanism. You can use the other ones if you want, but I speak in joules. So the question is, how long would it take for the heat generator at maximum with lava? How long would it take for it to power up and fully fill a basic energy cube? Well, the answer is right there. It takes 34 minutes and 32 seconds to fill up a basic energy cube at 4 megajoules. Now, let me just go through this real quick. A joule is a measurement of energy. A kilojoule, a kJ is 1,000 joules, and then a megajoule or an MJ is 1,000,000 joules. So this is 4 million total joules, and it takes 34 minutes and 32 seconds for this heat generator to fill that baby up. Now, just for kicks, I decided to do the math, and it would take it 36 hours and 50 minutes and 8 seconds to fill this ultimate energy cube, which is 256 megajoules, 64 times the amount of energy as this basic. So, heat energy, very cheap, easy to make, but also very slow. So moving on to the next generator, guys, we have the biogenerator. And the biogenerator, as you can see, can fill the basic energy cube in 9 minutes and 32 seconds, which is roughly, 3 or 4 times faster than your heat generator. Now, the only thing I don't like about the biogenerator is that you do have to have a bit of a system, okay? You have the biogenerator, and let's just look at how you make that first. You have to have some biofuel, which we'll talk about how you get biofuel here in a moment. Regular iron, redstone, a basic control circuit, and infused alloy. Those 3 in the middle are you have to have your metallurgic infuser. If you're not familiar with all that stuff, then maybe I'll make a guide in the future. And then, of course, your biofuel, once again, you have to get it by throwing things like seeds or melons or whatever is organic into your crusher, and it creates biofuel. And then I just got it pumped directly into this biogenerator. I let it fill up, I let it get completely ready, and 9 minutes and 32 seconds to fill up a basic energy cube, 4 times faster than your heat heat generator. And of course, I had to do the math. So for an ultimate energy cube, it still would take it 10 full hours. And I'm talking about real life time. I'm not talking about in-game time. I'm talking about real life time here. Because again, I like things to be in a measurable, an understandable unit. You don't get that information from per tick. There's 20 flipping ticks per second in this game, which doesn't make any sense to me at all. But anyway, so yeah, biogenerator, it's good. The only thing is you have to manually input stuff into this crusher, and you have to provide this crusher with power to get it to work. So I like the biogenerator. I would choose a heat generator and just string like 4 or 5 of them together, and it would give you the same amount of power as the basic or the biogenerator without actually having to do anything. It's just renewable. And speaking of renewable, here we have solar power. Yes, I love the way the advanced solar generator works. The regular little generator is not as good, obviously. You have 2 different generators. You have the small one, and then you have the big one. The big one requires 4 small ones to make, and it is more efficient. So just look at these numbers and compare. But anyway, so for the advanced solar generator, it takes 12 minutes and 24 seconds in this biome. I'm in a plains biome. I don't know if that makes a difference or not. I did test it in a desert because I assumed it would be hotter, it would be more efficient, and it actually gave me less power in the desert. So I don't know about that. I didn't look up any guides or anything. I'm just doing all these tests in this super flat world. So this thing actually fills up. It's renewable 100%. So you don't have to like input it like this biogenerator. You have to input stuff to get it. It's a little slower than the biogenerator, but you don't have to do anything about it. You don't have to feed it anything. It just uses sunlight and you got it. So I like it. The only thing is, it's a solar generator, so if it's dark outside, then it isn't going to work for you. It will not power up your energy at all. So assuming you're doing this during the day, it's going to take you 12 minutes and 24 seconds to power up a basic energy cube. And if you wanted to fill up an ultimate energy cube, it will take you 13 hours and 13 minutes and 36 seconds. And to make this thing, it's very expensive, though. That's the biggest problem with it. To get an advanced solar generator, you have to have the regular solar generators, and each solar generator requires 3 of these solar panels, and they require like glass panes and redstone and infused alloy and osmium ingots. So it's a really, really expensive piece of equipment. And then you have the energy tablets, you have to make 3 of these, and so you have to have gold. So it's the most expensive thing here, I think. And I'm not a big fan of using these solar generators, although I love the way they look. And they're necessary for your brine, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, maybe we'll cover it in a future guide. So moving on, we now have wind power, okay? So wind power is absolutely awesome. I love it. It's not the best at this level, which I'm at level 2 or 3 or 4 or something like that. So the way wind generation works, and again, I love the way it looks. I think it looks so great, is that the higher in the elevation it is, the better it does at providing you power. And so right now I have a minimum and a maximum for wind generation. So this thing, it's at the very minimum. This is pretty much the lowest point in the world. I think you're like 2 or 3 blocks above bedrock. And so it would take this wind generator 55 minutes and 20 seconds to fill up this basic energy cube. And it's terrible, okay? It is just terrible. And I'm wondering why it isn't. Oh, it is filling. Okay, there we go. So 55 minutes and 20 seconds. But as you can see, that's the minimum. That's the lowest. But if you build it at the highest point in the world, your maximum output would give you a fill of that basic energy cube of 6 minutes and 56 seconds. That is by far the fastest. Well, not by far. I mean, the biofuel is 9 minutes and 32 seconds. But what I like about the wind energy is that it's completely renewable. You don't have to mess with it at all. But to accomplish that, to be able to actually get the maximum rates, you have to be way up high. And as you can see, I've built a platform and I've built a teleporter to show you guys how high we are. So here we are. We are at Y level 251. You could build up to 255, but because this thing is pretty tall, it wouldn't let me build until I got down to 251. So as you can see, it's moving way faster and it's producing a lot more power, like 10 times more power or more. So yeah, anyway, that is, again, comparing how fast this thing moves compared to that. Yeah, so if you are in a regular world, build these things on top of mountains and they're pretty dang good. I'm sure that, because this is level 2 and this is 251, so if you're building on like level 120, for instance, I'm sure it's somewhere in the middle. I didn't test that, probably should have, but I didn't. So yeah, to fill up a ultimate energy cube, it will take 59 hours, 1 minute and 20 seconds for this little dinky thing at the bottom of the world. If you're at the top of the world, it'll still take 7 hours and 23 minutes and 44 seconds to fill up an ultimate energy cube, which again is 64 times the capacity of a basic energy cube. Now we're going to get to the Grand Champion. The Grand Champion, well, the Grand Champion of the basic generators. We have the gas burning generator. Now, right now, I'm not showing you guys the full like setup for this because it's quite complicated. I just have a creative chemical tank with ethylene because ethylene is the gas that you burn in the gas burning generator. You can burn hydrogen, which is a much simpler setup, but it's not a net positive system. You're not going to make energy. You actually have to spend more energy to make the hydrogen than you're going to get out of it. So you shouldn't burn hydrogen with the gas burning generator, but using ethylene is fantastic. Now, this test didn't take into consideration the cost of running the machines to make the ethylene, but I know from experience that it's like 99% efficient. It's worth it, is what I'm trying to say. So before we get into the numbers, to make ethylene, you have to go through this long, laborious process, and I will probably make a guide on it eventually. If you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments. But just under perfect circumstances where you have infinite ethylene, right? You've burned all your, it uses organic stuff, just like the biogenerator, but it's better because it combines that biofuel with water and hydrogen, I think. Maybe it's oxygen. No, it's hydrogen. And then you get this amazing gas that burns, and it's super clean, and it's super amazing, it's efficient. So if you have the perfect situation, then this gas burning generator can fill with ethylene this basic energy cube in 25 seconds. 25 flippin' seconds. In fact, I kind of want to demonstrate that just for the fun of it. So if I take this basic energy cube out, oh, there we go. And if I just remove it, take it up, remove it, and then take it up, and then you'll see how fast. I had to take it up and remove it because some of the energy is stored up in the cable, and I want everything to be empty before I start to test everything. So yeah, it's happening fast, isn't it? So 25 seconds, by far the fastest and most efficient system. Again, it's a little bit complicated. I think that you're best off starting off. If I were to give some advice and take home messages, I would start with heat generation, and I would build like 5 or 6 of them, right? Because you're going to get more efficiency out of that than you would this biogenerator overall. And then you would skip solar generation and move straight into wind generation, but you don't even have to really do that. Maybe a couple of them just for fun because they look good on your property. But then I would go straight to your gas burning generator and start burning your ethylene. Now, for fun, the ultimate energy cube will be filled up in 26 minutes and 40 seconds. So 26 minutes versus, I think the shortest one was 7 hours. Yes. So for the windmills that are way up in the sky, compared to gas burning generator, 26 minutes versus 7 hours. So this is by far, and I did all the testing myself, all the timing myself, double checked everything. This gas burning generator on ethylene is by far the winner. Now, consolation. This is a fusion reactor. It's a multi-block reactor. They also have fission, which is a totally different thing. We'll talk about those in a future video. But this is basically the mother of all power, or the fission. I think they probably are both way better than the gas burning generator. In fact, it's not a probably, it's an absolute fact. To charge up a basic energy cube with this thing running at minimum, because here's how this works, and I'll just go through it really quickly. There's 2 different fuel sources. They mix together, and you have to make sure you're generating enough. As you can see, I'm generating a ton of both. And you can go up to a burn rate of 98. I'm not sure exactly what the units are on that, but it's 98. I have this set on 2, the minimum. And on the minimum amount of power this thing can produce, it will fill a basic energy cube in less than a second, in literally 0.3 seconds. 0.3. I had to do the math on that because I couldn't measure it. In fact, if I put it down, watch this. Boom. See, it's full before I'm even able to, like if I set it down, it's empty, right? But if I set it down, it's full before I'm even able to look at it. So this thing, 0.3 seconds for a basic energy cube, and it will fill an ultimate energy cube in 13 seconds. You know what? I'll just show you guys that too, because why the bloody heck not? Where is it? Yeah, there it is. All right, so check this out. Check this out. Oh, the cables are actually full. That's why this is happening this way. And also the fusion reactor has a massive, like 4 times the battery size of the ultimate energy cube. So it just innately holds more power than the energy cube even can. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that for fun. 0.3 seconds to fill up that cube. This thing takes 25 seconds. This heat generator will take 34 minutes. So definitely worth moving on. I mean, ethylene can hold you out for a long time. But definitely we want to move on to the fusion reactor eventually. Now we'll do a guide of how to build it and how it works and everything in a future video. So guys, I think that covers everything I wanted to mention in today's guide, really covering the the gritty, dirty details of these generators. And I think I've given my opinions, I've given the facts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, okay? I'll be reading every comment and responding to as many as I can. Like the video if you liked it, and of course, do consider subscribing to join our little family here on the Klaus YouTube channel. Remember, guys, that I love each and every one of you, and I will see you all again next time.